Testing, testing. Hi, so I want to kind of jump into this video talking about the last thing that I posted on Instagram because I had talked about how a lot of empaths kind of like look towards the future for a lot of stuff just because we battle such bad anxiety all the time. Like it's always that doom feeling. It's always that like something bad's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen. And you know, it freaks a lot of people out because it's like, well, am I having this bad feeling because something awful is going to happen? You know, you get scared to go in the car. You get scared to, you know, go to people's houses, go out. It like takes the joy out of your life. But, you know, actually what it's teaching you is it's teaching the empath, you know, how to kind of look towards some other type of way of life. It really is probably the empath's most giant awakening when they go through those things where the constant stomach anxiety, and you know, a lot of people don't understand from an energetic standpoint that a lot of it is energy and it's unresolved issues that are starting to come up once you're beginning your spiritual journey. So what happens is around a certain age through like soul contract or, you know, whatever, time out of body, you hit the certain age where you're going to have your spiritual awakening. Whether a significant event happened, whether something traumatic happened, sickness, your spiritual awakening happened, and then it caused a giant shift in your energy field. So it started awakening you to what is actually going on in the earth. So it started awakening you to, I have this constant stomach anxiety, what's going on? You find yourself, because, you know, a lot of people go to doctors and they're like, oh, I'm going through this. And then what happens with that is like the doctor says there's nothing wrong with you, and it's actually just a giant manifestation of all the issues that you have to purge and the fears, you know, everything, you know, even from past life, like karmic lifetime. It's all the stuff that you're having to purge in this lifetime, and it's kind of giving you the push to seek some type of like spiritual teacher or, you know, Reiki, or just understand that there is a different way to heal rather than anxiety pills, which a lot of the time the empath, when they get put on anti-anxiety medication, it actually makes it worse or amplifies it, just because we're not supposed to be on these things. We're supposed to be forging a new way for the earth. So a lot of it is we have to make you know, like energy healing and herbal healing and Ayurvedic healing and, you know, chakra treatment and meditation. We're supposed to be bringing that to the forefront of people because, you know, the spiritual person, the empath, that is how they heal, because they're understanding lifetime after lifetime of everything their soul's battle has went through in order to be to where it is now, where you know, the higher the calling, the higher the anxiety you're going to have. I know for myself, you know, because I was a medium, and I don't even know what I am, to be honest. Like, I just know that I look down at somebody or talk to somebody and I just pick up on all this stuff. But for me, it was anxiety to the point where it was taking the joy out of my life. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit there and enjoy a moment or enjoy being out with friends because I would always be scared. I would always think everyone hated me. I would be afraid to go places thinking that everyone was talking about me, everyone hated me. And like, you know, later on in life, how I register that is there was just so much ego energy in people and so much self-loathing in people. Because unfortunately, when someone isn't found, or they don't know themselves to a certain level, they operate very much on like fight or flight, I call it. So they're either ready to jump at somebody or find a reason to dislike somebody because they don't know themselves and they have their own fears. And empaths pick up on that energy very, very strongly. The empath will have a really hard time making friends, keeping friends, because they're so scared that everyone just hates them. The empath, because of their anxiety, is constantly asking everyone if they're okay. Especially in relationships, the empath is going to destroy the relationship before it even begins, because They're going to constantly be like, are you sure everything's okay? Are you sure everything's okay? And what that's showing you is that you have so many inner issues to work on, whether it be from like, you know, a childhood standpoint with your parents. Like, you know, the way you watched your parents love or not love is what you're registering as love in this lifetime. And, you know, that is our soul connection to our parents. They're teaching us how to find new ways to love. You know, a lot of healers grew up with mothers that weren't exactly loving or supportive, and a lot of what that brings is showing the female energy and the female empath. You know, they have to forge their own way to find love. Like, they need to kind of die to be reborn, to remember who they were, because it's not by chance. You don't, it's, you know, you're born with this like predestined state of being an empath. Like, you signed up for this in soul contract before you came down in this lifetime. You know, some people may say no once they're down here. But the spiritual awakening is meant to wake us up and be like, oh, there it is. Here we go. And, you know, you find yourself after your spiritual awakening, you become someone that your friends probably don't even know anymore. And it's just because you've kind of stopped pretending. And you've kind of, and it's not even pretending, but you're just afraid to be who you feel like you are. So you, you know, you turn a lot of people off to that, and they don't really understand like what your new life is like. But, you know, if you have good friends, they'll understand that, like, hey guys, I was kind of living a lie my entire life, and that's why I was always a little confused and a little weird. But the point of a lot of the anxiety that we face, like, in our bodies, is it's showing us all of our fear. And on the spiritual journey and the empathic path, we're meant to be clearing ourselves of that fear and clearing ourselves of that negativity. I know recently I had a giant, massive soul retrieval about my childhood and being picked on. And, you know, it really, you know, you think you forget things, but then your brain triggers back to a moment and you're like, fuck, like, that really did shape me, because I grew up thinking that I wasn't good enough for anybody. I grew up thinking that, you know, the only reason people would like me is just, you know, maybe because of my face, or, you know, maybe because I was funny. I never actually believed that someone could truly care about me. So where did that lead me? To the sociopathic relationship, which, you know, ultimately, if we've been through a sociopathic relationship, it was forged in time, out of body, and soul contract, and those people are actually huge soulmates, and they were meant to help us awaken. So unfortunately, we have to give thanks to those people, but you know, it doesn't stop the traumatic events. It doesn't make it a positive, but it helps you to understand that you signed up for that before you came here, because you believed in yourself that much, and you knew you could get through it, and you knew that it was going to make you a better person. You knew that all these hardships that you signed up for during like fight or flight, you knew you were going to make it through them, and you knew that it was just going to make you a better person and help you awaken to who you are at an earlier age. A lot of us are awakening very, very young, and it's because, you know, we have a predestined path that we need to do and change this world. We need to show the new wave, the healer. Like, I look relatable as fuck. Like, I have tattoos everywhere. I'm into hardcore music. Like, I love Taylor Swift. Like, you know, I'm into these things, but I also have this healing part of me that, you know, I could do a lot for the world or people, and it's because I awoken very young, and I never let it stop me. Like, I was determined, you know, if my Reiki teacher never found me, I don't think I would be here. So that's next what I want to go into is, you know, we have so many amazing sources online for everything for the empath, and, you know, I'm one of them. I'm this YouTube channel, but I feel like a lot of the information you're going to find on the internet, or the information you're going to find through YouTube, is really just a bridge to get you to where you need to be, because there's no YouTube channel that could teach you how to be an empath or help you understand energy. It could give you a basic understanding, but all of us are very different people. We all understand things very differently, and the empath isn't going to understand why a certain word may shake them to the core, why a certain sound may make them feel afraid, why loud noises may make them feel fearful, why a lot of empaths don't like wearing jewelry, or they feel constricted and don't really care for makeup, or they need to wear loose clothing. The empath needs to understand why they may have knee pains, why they may have lower back pains, and, you know, a spiritual healer is going to be the one that guides you in that, because that's going back to a past life, that's going to soul retrieval, that's going to what you inherited from your parents' karma, that's going to what blocks you have to go through in this lifetime. So, you know, my biggest suggestion for every empath right now is, you know, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I know for myself, like, my teacher appeared just in the nick of time, because I really, I don't think I would have made it out of this lifetime. Or I don't think I would be here right now if it wasn't for her. So, you know, if you ever need a Reiki teacher around Toms River, New Jersey, Tracy Karaki, she's Sit Speak Animal Communication. She has a YouTube channel. That is the woman that saved my life. But anyway, you know, you need to dive into these personal things with people one-on-one. Like, we need those coaches to help us understand, why is this our battle in this lifetime? Why am I suffering from this in this lifetime? Everyone has their own individual thing. Us as a collective consciousness, no two journeys are the same. No two people's issues are the same. That's why I try and give a very bland understanding to everything going on, because, you know, for me, relationships and toxic relationships were what was meant to help me heal and awaken. You know, for some people it may not be the relationship, and it may be forging the bridge through their parents that they may not speak with. And one thing I can say is the empath has never really had an easy life. I don't think any sensitives or gifted people have ever really had an easy life, but, you know, we need to erase where we found our life to not be easy, and we need to find the blessing and the miracle in all the hardships that we went through, and really, you know, put soul mental alchemy on the situations and transmute them for our highest good, because you know, I've done all this work, and I know how messy and painful it is. Like, I wouldn't even recognize myself a year ago or 2 years ago. But I know the spiritual journey is everything to me. The spiritual journey means everything to me. Being an empath is what killed me. It's what saved me. It's what drives me. It's the reason that I am on this earth. And if I could do one thing in this fucking life, it is to help the young person understand they are not crazy. There is nothing wrong with them, but it's everything that's beautiful inside them. You know, being an empath, no one ever said that it was going to be, you know, a good time. The spiritual journey is actually very painful. I actually have a huge problem with spiritual teachers, and, like, not to be a dick, but, like, I have an issue with people that are just like, no, everything should be love, and everything's light, and everything's wonderful all the time, because that's fucking bullshit. It's messy, it's painful, it's chaotic, it makes you feel insane, it makes you feel like you don't know how to be on this earth, you want to go home, aka heaven, whatever you call it. It's a very lonely journey until you start putting your pieces together and figure out, you know, exactly your place. And then when you find your place, and you find your healing, and you find yourself in this messy spiritual journey, that's when all the messes start to become not so messy, and, you know, when all the chaos starts to become controlled, because you understand the higher purpose of why it's happening. And, you know, you have to dig into your soul. You need to figure out, you know, certain fears you have, like, you know, you have to figure out in a past life, like, did you pass away from a certain reason? Is that why it's troubling you now? You know, you have to figure out all the bad things you went through is a lot of your calling, and why you're meant to be a spiritual teacher. I know everything that I've been through has only been to help me grow and expand and figure out how to help other people, because had I not been through all the awful fucking shit I've been through, I would not be able to help other people. So it, you know, that transmutes it on its own, to the point where now when things come up or issues come up, like, I know how to help. And, you know, a lot of the younger kids that are awakening, they're looking for help, and a lot of people are denying them, or telling them they're too young, or kind of like, oh, just read this and you'll be able to figure it out, or here's this book. It needs to be more hands-on. It needs to be more personal. It can't just be, you know, if you're feeling this certain emotion, this is what it means, and turn inward, and blah, 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 because a lot of young people don't know what it means to turn inward. Like, it takes a lot of time to understand how to grow, how to develop, how to look inward. And, you know, a lot of the empath is constantly looking for a sign. It's constantly looking for, is next week going to be better? Is tomorrow going to be better? And you're not focusing on the present moment of what's inside you. And nothing pisses me off more than seeing, you know, these young kids that are being, you know, fucked with, or, you know, misguided in a lot of this. And, you know, everyone has their purpose, and that's amazing. But I know what it was like for me. And I know I see a lot of people that ask for help with certain people, and they're like, oh, well, just start meditating. I didn't know how to fucking meditate. I didn't know what that meant. You know, this is the gift that almost killed me, and it needs to be more hands-on. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you feel like you are a struggling empath and you are feeling so much anxiety, ask the universe for help. Ask for the teacher. Ask for the source. Ask for, you know, the guidance to, you know, figure out your spiritual journey. Because if you're feeling this anxiety and you're feeling this urge, and you know that when you walk into a room you could hear what was talked about, or you could hear the cellular memory in people's bodies. You know, I say that as a medical intuitive. People's organs and their cellular memory will literally communicate with me because I'm an empath, so I can feel and sense every underlying emotion and everything. I don't know what it's like to look at somebody anymore and just look at their face and who they present to me. I see every energy in every word they say. I see the intent. I see how they're truly feeling. I have no idea how to have a normal conversation with people. I feel like I have to chameleon myself to be who somebody needs me to be. As a healer, I become whoever that person needs to be spoken to. The empath is very gifted in the sense of understanding how someone needs to be spoken to. So they'll be able to understand that they need to talk to someone in a certain way for them to understand things. That's why the empath is here to change the world. Like, we have such a exceptional understanding of the way people operate and their sociology just naturally. And, you know, it didn't come without a price. You know, a lot of our lives have been really messy and very chaotic, but the beautiful gift is when, you know, you find a teacher, or you find your blessing, or you find why you're meant to be here. Figure out your gift, and then you figure out your superpower, and that's going to be what changes the world. You have to understand that you can't let yourself feel like a victim to everything that you're feeling in your body and everything that you're going through. You can't feel like, you know, what did I do to deserve this? Because I know that that's how I felt. Because, you know, when I was feeling all this, no one had answers for me. I had nothing. I would search far and low on the internet, and I remember I typed in "I can hear inside people's heads" on the internet, and the word empath came up. And this is when I was like 18. And, you know, it was a very struggled battle for me, because I knew I was something, but everywhere I turned, no one would help me. There was no book, there was no anything. And I say that a lot to people. Like, people recommend books to me, and you know, I think books are wonderful and it's great to learn, but I also know that I'm very, you know, self-taught with a lot of stuff. So I know that a lot of people's journeys aren't mine. I will enjoy a book, I'll read it, but I won't take everything. You know, everything's an interpretation. So even everything I say, you know, even in my grounding video, everything is an interpretation of what your soul resonates with, because none of our souls are the same. You know, one person's battle may be totally different than the other person's battle, but it may mirror one another. And that's another thing too. A lot of empaths need to realize the people that are in their lives, or they're attracting into their lives, are all teachers, whether they're good or bad. Like, you need to look at what you don't like inside of somebody else, because that's the universe literally showing you, like, hey, you have the power to do this inside you, so let's figure it out and let's transmute it. Like, I feel like we, as empaths and as the gifted, and we need to look at all the catastrophic events in our life, and, you know, figure out why they happen to us, and what did we learn, and, you know, where did we find, like, where our warrior journey is, like, where our battle is. We can easily figure out our superpower through the things that tried to kill us and couldn't. I feel like every empath needs to, you know, try and be mindful of the fact that, like, they need to go out and find help if they want it. Like, if they want to pursue and feel healed and whole on the spiritual journey. It's, you know, it's no more, because I know I was the type of person that, like, I mean, I personally don't read cards. I don't even know how to. But I would pull out oracle cards for myself and need to know what was going to happen, because I had so many control issues on situations. And it was because the empath in me always knew when something was going to happen. I always had that gut feeling, but I just wanted an illusion to be put in front of my head so I didn't have to change or feel pain. And a lot of empaths will go through that struggle. You know, they always look like they go to a bunch of psychics, or they are always having cards read for themselves, or they're always looking for, oh no, this is going to pass, and they're not focusing on their present moment and what could be happening in front of them to help them expand. And they're actually slowing down their expansion, slowing down their growth by looking to the future for answers and not understanding why they may be feeling the way that they are right now. A lot of empaths have control issues, and they want to control every outcome. They want to control everything that's going on with them, and every issue that they feel, because that comes from a lot of past life issues, actually, where you're very like brutally killed, or were never able to control what happened to you. And in this lifetime, we know that we have a powerful gift we're just awakening to it, and we understand that we can manifest and control our outcomes, but we're sitting and we're having this like effect because we know that we can manifest eventually when we awaken and expand and release and heal. So we think we could do it now by trying to put control on the situation, but we don't understand that we have to work towards to clear our emotional body, because we're two different people. We're the I self and we're the emotional body self. And we have to merge the empath to understand both of these sides. So it's your understanding that you are able to rapidly manifest stuff, but you're not understanding that you need to heal and purge all of your emotional issues in order to be able to get to that level. So that's why you have to do the work on yourself, and that is why I suggest everybody needs to find some type of spiritual teacher or real life spiritual counseling. I think it's the most beneficial thing an empath could ever do for themselves, and I just think that everybody needs to sit in the moment and really realize their purpose and why they're here, and know that, you know, if you're an empath and you feel other people's body pain and you feel their emotional pain and you feel like when someone's going to cry, it's because you have a very special gift, and it's the gift that's going to change this earth and change this world. You just, you know, you need some fine-tuning. Just because the wild empath, it's a very scary battle, and I know it all too well. So my next video is going to be on energy with food and the metaphysical understandings of food, just because I am a medical intuitive and I can speak to the vibrations in pretty much almost anything, and that's just for a lot of empaths to understand, because that is a lot of what we do. And you know, I've been fine-tuning the process, and you know, every day it's almost like a new gift comes. I say to my friend Shannon, who's radical Reiki, I'm like, really? I'm like, anything else they're gonna throw at me? But it's so beautiful, and it's been such a blessing to be able to create a YouTube channel and have people that understand what I was talking about. Because if you even go to my first video, it was in 2012, and I was, if you look at me, I'm super scared, I'm super inward, I was still in such a growing journey. That was like in the process of the sociopath I was with. And oh man, I didn't even know that the journey was about to begin from there. But I've always felt the dire need to help a younger generation, or, you know, I had to look a certain way or be a certain relatable. And, you know, a lot of people when they get readings from me, and this isn't like an ego thing, but they say, they're like, you make me feel like I'm your friend. And it's like, yo, you are. We're all in this together. So, you know, we need to help each other a little more, and, you know, we need to tune back, you know, because even in 2012, oh my fucking God, so much shit has changed since my first video, second video, third video. It's been years, and so much has changed, and it's been such a beautiful journey. And, you know, even if you need a little hope and faith, you know, study my energy in my first video. Look how lost I was. Look at the forgiveness video when I'm going through the most traumatic breakup of my life, and how lost and alone I looked, but I was still fighting to help others and myself, you know. And then look at me now, you know. Look at me as a mirror, because you can do it, I promise. Universe ain't gonna let you fall. It's not. No matter how many battles you have, no matter how hard it may be, make sure you yourself are not holding yourself back through fear. And, you know, just allow the universe to catch you when you jump. But, you know, you gotta jump. Gotta take it. Alright. Hope everyone enjoys this. You could subscribe to my channel or don't. You know, it's all okay. It's all good. This summer, everyone please join me. I will be on Warped Tour, but I will not be doing things that do not resonate with my soul. I will be doing Reiki and readings and healing and speaking, and, you know, so, you know, if you're throughout the US, you know, come hang out with me. I'd love to interact with people and, you know, help them out a little bit. I'll probably be selling some oils and stuff on the tour, so I'm going to try and get back in the groove of making videos. I'm just so swamped with readings. I do like 2 readings a day. My readings last for 2 hours because I heal the shit out of people. I don't just give people a little bit of information and say, all right. I really want people to grow and heal, and, you know, that's a gift of mine, and, you know, that's probably a gift of a lot of yours. So take it and run with it, and fucking run as far and wide as you can with it, and, you know, just believe in yourself, because I believe in you. You know, I was the only one who believed in me. So it's nice. It's nice. It's nice to be at a place where people tell me that, hey, I'm proud of you. Yeah, well, at least someone is. Alright, everyone have the best day, and thanks. Thanks for letting me be a part of your journey and listening to me. yeah, so this is me testing this video to see how loud I have to talk.